Jimmy Johnson tried to do something that Don Shula was unable to accomplish, and that's win a game at the Oakland Coliseum. 0-7 was Shula. Nedney's left-footed boot is deep, and Napoleon Kaufman chased to the back end of the end zone for the touchback. Here come the black and silver, quarterback by Jeff Hostetler. His offensive line, much like so many teams this year with injuries, changes through the course of the season. Pat Harlow wearing Howie Long's old number 75. Pro Bowler Wisniewski, Robbins, Grogan, and Kennedy. Plenty of beef there. Napoleon Kaufman averaging 5.7 a carry. Tim Brown and James Jett, the wideouts. They start with two tight ends, Andrew Glover and the Ohio State rookie Ricky Dudley. Hostetler play action to Kaufman, throws in the flat, complete. Andrew Glover, the tight end, out close to a first down at the 30-yard line. Chris Singleton on the coverage. The Miami Dolphins defensively read this way. Two rookies start in the front four. Burton and Gardner joining Bowens and Stubbs, who leads in sacks with 8. Collier, the rookie from Texas Tech. Zach Thomas, talk of the league. Chris Singleton at the other outside backer. Buckley and Jackson at the corners. Sean Wooden, and Sean Hill makes his first start. Hill with Lewis Oliver on the bench today. Second down and less than a yard. And it's Kaufman's first carry, first down, and 4 more out to the 34-yard line. Just underway here in Oakland as we welcome those of you who have seen an upset today as the Baltimore Ravens defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17. And Pittsburgh drops to 9-4. The Ravens 4-9.
Phil, for the Raiders today, Mike White told us we have to be more aggressive. What that means is that Jeff Hostetler, quarterback, must go down the field deep.
Well, the Dolphin defense, Paul, has given up so many big plays in the passing game this year. That's a good strategy. Stopping the run, something the Raiders do well. It all relies on Zach Thomas. They must protect him so he can run around the field and make the tackles in the running game.
Blitzon Hollier runs right by Kaufman and then makes the sack anyway. So Hollier did a good job. He came through cleanly from that left side. First he took care of Kaufman, said you don't have it. Haas must, and logs the sack.
Well, see, the one thing about Hollier here is, watch it, what a great play he makes. He sees the ball, runs over Kaufman, goes after Hostetler, gets the sack. That's just total concentration on the ball.
That, and the Raiders were taking that chance we talked about. Play action pass and first down, trying to go down the field deep for a big player score. Didn't work. The Dolphins in a blitz.
Loss of 6 on the play. Second down, Hostetler to Kaufman. Darts across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Hollier again with a stop, the 5-year veteran from North Carolina. It'll be a third down and about 12. Improved rushing, the Raiders' theme. Look what they have done per game and average per rush to a phenomenal 4.7 this season.
In these last 2 years, Joe Bugle, the offensive line coach in charge of that running game, since he has come to the Raiders, this offensive line has gotten a little more physical. They get off the ball, and that's the reason why they run it so well.
Harvey Williams replaces Kaufman at running back, and it's Williams on 3rd and 12 to the sidelines and out of bounds short of the first down at about the 41-yard line.
You know, Dick, that's why it's incredible how their record is with a team that can average 4.7 yards a carry and not winning football games. It just boggles your mind.
Not taking advantage of the running game. They're not getting big plays in the passing game, not using the play action passes, fooling the defense, and that's one of the reasons why they're 5-7.
On 4th down, it's Billy Joe Hobart and not newly signed Rich Camarillo who comes in to punt. The backup quarterback Hobart, who kicked twice last week when Jeff Gossett was injured in Seattle. He kicked 139-140 last week. This one comes to O.J. McDuffie. Hit as he crosses the 25 and down at the 27-yard line. We welcome those of you who have watched Jacksonville defeat Cincinnati 30-27. Dick Enberg with Phil Simms and Paul McGuire. Jim Gray down on the sidelines here in Oakland. Miami Dolphins will get their first offensive play in just a moment as Jim Gray has a report on Rich Camarillo. Miami. 27.
Johnson was just unable to do it, so Billy Joe Holbert will kick for the rest of the day.
Well, just part of that report. Apparently, Camarillo came up a bit lame in practice. First play for the Dolphins. It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar dropped for a loss. Beaker tripped him up, and Mike Morton secured the tackle. Here are the Miami Dolphins, who start today 6 up and 6 down. And Jimmy Johnson feels that this team can make it to the playoffs. Webb and Sims returns after missing Monday night with a knee. Ruddy, McIver, and Brown. This line is getting bigger and bigger, a la Johnson's team in Dallas. Abdul-Jabbar and Pritchett, the rookie runners. Barnett and McDuffie outside, and huge Troy Drayton at tight end. 2nd and 13. Abdul-Jabbar gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 27, where it'll be 3rd and 10. Russell Maryland, who played for Johnson in Dallas, makes the tackle. And here are the Raiders. Lance Johnstone with Maryland and McLaughlin inside. Pat Swilling, the pass rusher. The veteran has 4 sacks this year. Linebackers with the injury to Rob Fredrickson. Mike Morton has replaced him. Beekert and Jones, the other backers. And then you have McDaniel and Lewis at the corners. Lynch and Carrington at safety. Bernie Parmalee joins Marino in the shotgun. 3rd down, they call it 11. First pass for Marino out of the backfield to Parmalee, incomplete. He was covered by Mike Jones. So a good defensive stand on Miami's opening series, and the Raiders force Miami to bring in John Kidd.
Brings up 4th down at 11.
Kidd averaging 47 a punt, just under that, leading the NFL. Tim Brown just a couple of kicks away from being the busiest punt returner in NFL history. He stands alone, a 10-man rush. Now they drop off as Kidd delivers a wobbly kick, short. Brown on the run, 36, 40, 45, and hit hard at the 46 by Frank Wainwright, the snapper. Let's go back down to Jim.
All right, well, Rich Camarillo, who was signed here on Tuesday after flying across the country a couple times, he's been unable to kick today because his leg is simply just tired and worn out. Dr. Albo of the Raiders telling me he has a pulled groin. He will not be able to kick today. It's going to be Billy Joe Holbert. Dick?
All right, Camarillo signed on Tuesday. The veteran of so many seasons in the league. 5 times a Pro Bowler, but just so much kicking trying to win a job that he just didn't have anything left.
Too excited about getting a job, I guess, and he practiced too much this week, and that's the reason he can't kick today.
First down, Hostetler throws underneath to the tight end Ricky Dudley, and the rookie has a first down at the 41 before Sean Hill can make the stop. 13-yard play.
Well, this has got to be a good sign for the Raiders today. Ricky Dudley has struggled so much to catch passes the last few weeks. His confidence is down. Jeff Hostetler throws it right in his chest, and boy, he almost dropped that one too.
Yeah, he did.
And so, but that will make him feel better, and that's so important, especially for a rookie, to get off to a good start and get over those bad feelings he had about dropping the footballs.
20th catch this year for the 6'6" Dudley, a basketball player of the Buckeyes, and now Kaufman corralled, and a flag goes down as Kaufman is tackled at the line of scrimmage by Chris Singleton.
Boy, Zach Thomas, what a play he makes. He doesn't, I don't know if he makes the tackle or not, but Zach Thomas is on the blitz, on a delayed blitz, and he comes right up the middle. He's the one that makes this play go to the left. It was supposed to go right up the middle. Thomas was in the hole.
Offense, number 76, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down, first down.
Steve Wisniewski with a 10-yard hold.
You see Zach Thomas right up in the middle, and here he comes up. He times it perfectly, and right up in the middle. Watch this. When he gets in the middle, there's the holding by Wisniewski, grabbing Zach Thomas. He can't get to the play, but he helps out, and he's the one that caused all that problem.
Thomas creates a 10-yard loss, in essence, with the penalty. Hostetler to Harvey Williams. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets to the 45, 44-yard line before Sean Wooden can make the stop for this undersized Miami deep defense.
7 yards.
You know, the one thing that I'm kind of happy about is watching this team. 4.7-yard average rushing and still running the football. Now, Hoyer's getting held, but that's okay by Dudley. You don't get called, it's okay.
That's right. It's not holding unless they call it. But you're right, Paul. Both of these teams, the defensive backs, today for Miami. You can see how small they are. That's one place they struggle. When runners get in the secondary, the defensive backs have not been making the good tackles and stopping the short gains.
2nd and 13. The quick out, and Buckley was looking for the interception intended for James Jett. Let's go to New York.
All right, Dick, in Indianapolis, second time these teams went to overtime this season, but a different result. Kerry Blanchard of the Colts from 49 yards out at 6:46 of overtime to give Indianapolis a 13-10 win over Buffalo. The Colts keep their playoff hopes alive. They're 7-6, Dick.
Well, what a win for the Colts, who are strangled with injuries, as was Buffalo today.
I thought the Colts were dead and come up with two big wins the last 2 weeks. Now they're back in the playoff hunt again.
3rd down 13. Hostetler can't elude the rush, and down he goes at the 47-yard line.
Dick, I told you about at the beginning of this show about the relentless pursuit of this defense. And you're talking about the front seven. And when these guys come, they all come.
They do, and that time they come from the secondary. Watch Calvin Jackson come off the corner. The Raiders not in a good protection to pick up that blitz. The tight end's there. He never looks out. Calvin Jackson comes in free and gets an easy sack on Jeff Hostetler.
Welcome those of you who have seen the Colts in overtime defeat the Buffalo Bills. It's Billy Joe Hobart, who is an emergency kicker, and he hits one about 15 yards. Takes a Oakland Raider bounce, however, and inside the 23-yard line. So the Raiders, strapped by the injury to Jeff Gossett, have to call on Billy Joe Hobart once again. No score. First quarter in Oakland. Got a good roll, however, and it's at the 22 that Marino hands off to Abdul-Jabbar, spins outside, and has a first down. This talented rookie from UCLA continues to grind out yardage.
Well, there is a little wind on the field today, but look again. Look at the ball pointing straight down, and I don't know much about punting, but I know the one thing. That's not the angle you want to kick that ball at, but I was down on the field earlier, and I had a chance. I ran into Billy Joe, and, hey, he was psyched. He wanted to punt today. He wasn't even sure if he was going to. He goes, he was mad last week because he only kicked one for like 39, and, well, he's not a happy camper now either.
Look at his face. I think he's thinking about changing shoes. It's just a drop, Billy. Just drop it flat, and you'll be fine.
Knowing him, he might try a left footer. He can
That's
do
right.
it.
Knowing Billy, you never know. That's right.
Well, what's he say when he plays golf? Tee it high and let her fly, and that's it.
Yeah, he has that tattoo on his leg. Tee it high and let it fly. And he just doesn't strike me as a guy that's ever going to try to finesse a ball on the golf course or as a quarterback.
That's the first down for Jimmy Johnson's Dolphins. First down for Miami. Their first. The Raiders have compiled all the yardage to this point as we're nearing the mid spot of the opening quarter. No score in Oakland on a 60-degree sunny afternoon. Now there go flags flying, all kinds of movement.
Does it surprise you Chester McLaughlin's offside?
He reacts to the slightest movement.
False start. Offense, number 80.
There was encouragement
5-yard
from the
penalty.
Dolphin
Still
offense.
first down.
We talked to Mike White yesterday, and I said you feel on offense they want to be aggressive. All right.
Get a chance, Chester McLaughlin in the middle, just a hair quick. He's trying to time it out perfectly with the snap count, just a little too quick. And
but Richmond Wade had flinched, and that gave the penalty to the Dolphins. So first and 15. The middle goes Abdul-Jabbar and doesn't get far as he is stonewalled. Let's go back to New York for this update.
All right, Dick, at Mile High Stadium in Denver, you could say the Broncos are a mile high these days. From the one, John Elway, to his favorite target, Shannon Sharp, back of the end zone with the extra point. The Broncos with the early lead on the Seattle Seahawks, 7-0, Dick.
You know how they in baseball, when you hit the long home run, sometimes they paint the seat up in the upper deck. You have to paint that spot for Shannon Sharp.
That's right.
Just put SS there. He just camps out and gets 6. How many times have we seen him do that? Second down, 13 for Marino. He goes to Fred Barnett, and the veteran rolls to the 38-yard line. It'll be short of the first down by about 4.5. Carl Kidd covered for the Raiders.
Well, Dan Marino looking down the field, his new target, Fred Barnett, been back in action a few weeks, and even though he has that surgically repaired knee. Fred Barnett has never been afraid to go across the middle and does an excellent job of getting down low, making a tough catch, and putting Miami in a good position to pick up a third down.
You saw that interesting feature on our pregame report, wearing a cadaver's ligaments after having his knee torn up twice in his career. Marino down the sidelines and incomplete to Barnett. Appeared that might have had a little trouble with the sun.
He did.
I think you're right, Dick. That's what happened, because it was an excellent throw by Dan Marino. We've seen this so many times where he throws it, the receiver looks like he's covered, but he throws it so hard, the defender, Carl Kidd, can never turn around and see the football.
He does have a problem with the sun, because look at the ball. It comes in, he had his arm up. He never sees it commit. The ball hits his arm, but he never saw it.
So John Kidd to punt for the second time. Will deliver from around the 23 with Tim Brown standing at the Raider 15. Brown at the 14. And the Raiders down him at the 20-yard line. Bernie Parmalee on the special teams making the stop. Timeout, 5:49 left in the first.
47 yards.
Fred Barnett, number 80, against Carl Kidd, number 46. Sticks his arms up, has no idea the football is there, and it just shows you what a good throw was from Dan Marino. The receiver sticks his arm up, boom, the ball hits it.
From the 20, the Raiders' third possession, still no score. 5:49 left in the opening quarter. This is Derek Fenner, and the fullback gets a carry for 5. Zach Thomas makes the tackle for Miami.
Well, I'm sorry, I was just talking about one thing. When we see Zach Thomas playing, we talked to Tim Bowens yesterday about as a defensive lineman, and Tim Bowens says, you know, this is very unselfish defense. Our job is to keep the lineman off of Zach Thomas. Now, you can see why. Look at this guy, 11.4 tackles per game. But that's our job. We're not have to be heroes to make the tackle. We'll let him do all the work because he can get there.
Well, let me tell you, they're doing a heck of a job, because he is over 11 tackles per game, and they're keeping people off of him.
2nd and 5, and flushed out is Hostetler. Now wide open is Dudley. And the big young tight end has a first down at the 43.
You know, Phil, when you're that aggressive, there are holes in the defense.
Well, there are, but watch here. Jeff Hostetler drops back. The Raiders have a big offensive line, but again, the blitz pushes the pressure back in Jeff Hostetler's face. He scrambles out, and Ricky Dudley, a rookie, doing a fine job of going with the quarterback and getting to the right spot.
They pick up Zach right at the line of scrimmage. He can't get it. But watch this guy. You talk about hustle. Here he is back downfield trying to help out on the tackle.
First down for the Raiders. It's Napoleon Kaufman. And Thomas able to get a push on him out of bounds at 49 of Miami. A sizable gain for Kaufman. Napoleon Kaufman is 5'9". If he has a couple long runs today, his rushing average could equal his height. He's 5.7 yards a rush for this 5'9" dynamite from Washington.
Well, the one thing about Napoleon Kaufman that they talk about, and they talk about it openly, here's a guy that's good for about between 15 and 20 rushes a game. After that, Dick, he just wears down. He's just too small.
But that's another great credit to him. Only one fumble. That was last week in Seattle, and 277 touches. 2nd and 2. Derek Fenner staggers to the sticks. The 47 of Miami. Guess who was there to down him? Number 54, Thomas.
The one thing about Zach Thomas, and we talk so much about him, and you know, he may be the rookie of the year on defense, this guy in the AFC at least, but you know, this guy is very smart. I mean, he knows the defensive scheme. He believes in the defensive scheme. And again, those 4 linemen up front, they give him the freedom.
And of course, Paul, to make that many tackles as a linebacker, you have to be smart, because you got to know a lot what's going on, have good instincts, and putting all that together, and he hustles. That's the reason he makes so many tackles on defense.
Fenner made the first down, and now he gets the toss from Hostetler, and he fumbles the ball. And let's see if they've ruled it down. No signal now they mark the ball down as Darrell Gardner and Chris Singleton with the tackle.
Chris Singleton is very slow. In fact, he's not even up. He's on one knee.
2nd and 6.
And from that angle, it appeared it could well have been coming out.
Well, the head linesman, Dale Williams, he was right there on the play. He called him down. Once they call a guy down and blow the whistle, Dick, it makes no difference what happens after that.
Singleton comes off and is replaced by Anthony Harris. Harris is going to play a lot for Singleton today anyway. 51 Harris is the free agent rookie from Auburn. Still another young player in that Jimmy Johnson scenario. Second down 6. Hostetler guns it. Incomplete. Terrell Buckley denies James Jett.
Well, Terrell Buckley, we saw him earlier, a 3-step drop by Jeff Hostetler. He almost picks the pass off. This time he's looking into the backfield. He sees the throw and watch him drive on the football. Good timing, hits the receiver just as the ball gets there. That's the reason why James Jett drops the football.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff. Jett had no chance because what Buckley did, he got his right arm underneath the inside and pushed the ball away. Just a great defensive play.
Third down and 6. Hostetler down the middle, incomplete. It was Jett again over the middle. Fourth down, and a flag is down. Back at the spot where Hostetler delivered the ball, holding against the Raiders. We'll see Miami will probably decline and force Oakland to punt.
Holding. Offense, number 72. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
Declined the penalty, Miami, and so Billy Joe Hobart, the punting adventures. All right, you coach him a little bit here, Paul.
Well, all he has to do is look at the ball and concentrate on the drop. Just drop it flat. He's got leg strength, and he knows how to kick it.
Oh, he's a quarterback.
I don't care. He can punt. He's a good kicker. Drop it flat. There you go. Look at that.
Beautiful kick.
He listening.
And that one is pushed back out and will be down at the 6-yard line. Terrific job by the Raiders. Orlando Truitt made the play. 36-yard punt. Miami will be at the 6 when we return. Look at this special teams effort.
Just being smart, knowing the rules. That's the reason why he does not go in the end zone, throws it back. Good play by the special teams.
Billy Joe's reaction, he's very happy about it. He's smiling. And there's Camarillo saying, look, I'd like to get these 4 games in if you don't mind. Don't do it too well.
Camarillo just signed, for those of you who joined us late. Marino from his own 6-yard line. Play action. End zone throw. Complete. Stanley Pritchett. And the fullback is close to a first down out at the 16-yard line. Mike Morton, the linebacker from North Carolina, made the hit.
Dan Marino has great patience in the pocket. Watching this time, the play action fake. Now he knows he's got good protection. He looks down the field, doesn't like it, drops it off to the fullback, and Stanley Pritchett has been excellent to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Was that his primary receiver all along, do you think, Phil, or was he really going for something?
He was looking down the field. They had a deep in cut, but the Raiders double covered it, and he came off and did the right thing. Done it probably a couple thousand times in his career.
First down play, and it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hustling to the 20, and he has been ruled down. No fumble as Lorenzo Lynch heads toward the end. Well, it's Albert Lewis toward the end zone. Let's go to New York in this update.
All right, Dick, at the Meadowlands, the Jets lost Neil O'Donnell before the game began. Apparently, they can't find the defense either. Steve McNair of the Houston Oilers, 83 yards to a wide-open Chris Sanders with the extra point. The Oilers, in the rain, lead the New York Jets 14-0 in the first, Dick.
Thank you, Greg. Here, no score. Just a bit more than a minute remaining in this opening quarter. Dan Marino at 2nd and 6 from his own 20. Abdul-Jabbar. Great defense by the Raiders. They pushed it, and finally no room to run.
The reason great defense, we talked to Mike White yesterday. He said about the offense we're going to be aggressive. He said our defense has to be aggressive. We have to get our people upfield and blitz.
Well, they need to take a few more chances. They have the personnel on defense, but Paul, Miami probably has to hope they keep blitzing because they could be overpowered, I think, by this Raider defense today. But if they blitz, it gives Miami a chance to maybe hit a player, hit a pass, and get that big play for an easy score.
Third down, 7. Marino shotgun. McDuffie in motion. Parmalee. Oh, that play was awkward from the very start, and Albert Lewis, the veteran corner, darts in to make the tackle for a loss.
That play just did it. You're right from the beginning. Parmalee is getting the ball, but they almost run into each other, he and Marino. He's back in the shotgun. Look at this. He hands it to him, and look at Albert Lewis. Corner's been to many Pro Bowls. Just not only is he a great cover guy, but also good run pursuer.
John Kidd delivers from the 4-yard line, a high spiral. Tim Brown at the 40 to the 43, and flags fly. That was a noteworthy return, however, by Tim Brown, his third today, which gives him in his career 292, tying Vi Sikahema for the NFL record. When you consider all he's contributed as a 1,000-yard receiver for the last several seasons, and then punt returner too, this is pretty important property.
Well, he's just been so valuable to the Raiders. He is their passing game still after all these years. It's Jeff Hostetler drop back, look for Tim Brown, then throw it to somebody else. And really, to be so special on punt returns, he has been one of the great players in the league.
Well, you know, I talked to him about it, too, and he always said that, I love it so much. I just love the return because I have that freedom back there. It's like I'm in space a lot of times, and I can do whatever I want to do.
This is the final play of the quarter.
By the receiving team during the return. Penalty is declined. Holding on the return team, number 21. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards. It will be first down.
And so the Raiders have the ball, but be 10 yards back toward their own goal here in Oakland. No score. And we welcome you back to Oakland, and the opening play of the second quarter, no score. The Raiders start from their own 28-yard line with a reverse to Tim Brown. And Brown has a first down as he gallops to the 40-yard line.
Man, did you see Wisniewski get out? I'm talking about, you talk about a guard pulling. Number 76, Steve Wisniewski. I mean, he comes out. It is incredible, the speed. He's right to the left of the center, and he's going to come out and down the line. Watch this guy right in here. Here comes Wisniewski. Now watch what he does. He's out in front of the ball carrier. He's going to pick somebody, make his block, boom to the outside. That's quick.
You're looking for them little DBs to hit on.
That's right. Well, why not?
Absolutely.
6 consecutive Pro Bowls for Wisniewski. First down. Kaufman has 5. Has nearly 10 more. Out to the 50-yard line before safety Sean Wood makes the stop.
Phil, he just did it again. Watch him pull Wisniewski, number 76, and go up into the hole. Watch this. Boom. Here's the hole. I'm up inside. I make the block. Man, is that any good? That's Zach Thomas.
And he's on Zach Thomas, and Zach Thomas, that's what he has problems with. When one of these big linemen, like Steve Wisniewski, over 300 pounds, when they hit a linebacker of Zach Thomas's size, he cannot get away from him.
And Kaufman averaging 6.5 a carry in this game. Now Derek Fenner. He's to the 43-yard line, and another Raider first down. Jim?
Chris Singleton hurt his left shoulder on the series before. It's a strained left shoulder, and he will return to the game. Dick?
All right, Singleton, the linebacker for Miami, will be able to return. At the 43, the Raider march continues. No score. And this has been very impressive, and this is what the Raiders have done as well as anyone in the league the last half of this season. Run the football.
If you keep doing this, you don't need to throw the ball.
Look how deep Kaufman is set. A reverse pass. Darryl Hobbs, a former quarterback in junior college, decides no one open. Now he throws and completes it. Andrew Glover.
Oh.
That's the way they drew it.
Well, the Dolphins were not fooled at all by the reverse pass. They actually had the receiver downfield double covered. You just run the reverse. It worked on the run, so this time let's try something different. The Dolphins not fooled. But like an ex-quarterback, gets away from Daniel Stubbs, finds his secondary receiver, throws a little duck, completion.
When he was at Santa Monica City College, his wide receiver was Isaac Bruce of the Rams. And then he played quarterback at Pacific, a run and shoot. Second down and 3. Just get it off. Hoffman built low to the ground, burrows his way to the 34-yard line. a yard short of a first down. Darrell Gardner, the rookie from Baylor, made the tackle.
Now, what does Hostetler do after he hands the ball off? And here he comes. That's Stubbs out there. He's blocking. All right, get his hand. That's holding. That's holding. But they're not going to call it on a quarterback.
That's right. Can't call holding on a quarterback.
That's in the rule book, isn't it?
Did you see him throw that ball going backwards? That's a pretty good pass.
Well, the Raiders have struggled on third down. 0 for 3 in this game. Big 3rd and 1. To Fenner. Hostetler. Chased by Burton. Close to the first down. Where did he step out? They mark it.
He didn't make it.
Well, Jimmy's trying to help him on the sidelines at the 45-yard line. And the officials are going to spot it short of the first down at the 34.
Well, it's twice the Raiders have tried to fool the Dolphin defense and go for the home run. Paul, as we talked about, go for one of those big plays, but the Dolphins, very disciplined, do not go for the fake. They cover the secondary, and Jeff Hostetler knows his only chance is to try to run for it. Does a good job of actually getting back to the line of scrimmage.
They're going to gamble on 4th and 1, and Mike White, the Raider coach, said they're going to have to take more chances than Hostetler after seeing the Miami defense calls time. 11-12 remaining in the second quarter. Still scoreless in Oakland. Raiders apparently will go for it on 4th and 1. Hostetler very successful in the win at Seattle a week ago. 8 for 10 and 3rd and 4th down conversions. But he's 0 for 4 today against Miami. It's Fenner. He's got it. Derek Fenner, the veteran acquired by way of unrestricted free agency from Cincinnati a year ago, and Mike White's team moves ahead. First down at the 31.
Well, what they do, Phil, is they put Rick Cunningham, who's a lineman at tight end. They put Andrew Glover in the backfield, number 87, the tight end. And then they just run behind those two guys on the right side of the offensive line.
This is a big offensive line, and look what they do. They push the Miami Dolphins defensive line. Look, it's back, some of them on the ground, and Derek Fenner does a good job of going over the top and getting enough yards for the first down.
And the drive continues, and Hostetler hits his man as he was being hit, and it's Dudley, the rookie's 3rd catch. He's been troubled of late, dropped a lot of balls, but he has been grabbing everything in sight this first half.
Well, the Raiders were very worried about Ricky Dudley, the tight end, number 83. He'd been dropping passes, and watch Jeff Hostetler hang in there. Daniel Stubbs goes right over the blocker. But Dudley, 3 catches today, has to get his confidence going again and make him a big part of this offense.
Started the day with 19 for the season, 4 of those for touchdowns. A Kellen Winslow type drafted in the first round by the Raiders. First down at the Miami 20. Hostetler throws again under pressure. Again, it's Dudley. Short yardage this time inside the 20.
Well, you know, Mike White told us about Dudley yesterday. He said, you know, and Phil asked him, you know, what about this young man? He said, you know, the thing about it, he was fighting the ball. And as a receiver, that's the worst thing you could ever do is fight the football. Just let it come on in. You've got the hands. This guy caught so many balls at Ohio State. I mean, he was a great player. He came out here in that rookie, you know, nervousness. He's just trying to do too much. Just catch it.
Paul, you need positive reinforcement. After you drop a couple, hey, it makes you nervous. You know, you do.
Yes, it does.
You get nervous. He tenses up when he sees the ball coming, but he's got to feel good about this start today.
Second down and 7. It's Fenner to the 14. So it'll be 3rd and approximately 4. Gardner, Stubbs, and Anthony Harris make the stop.
And, you know, another thing about Ricky Dudley, Mike White brought up a good point, because I can remember this when it happened. If you think about years ago, back in the early part of somebody's career, Jerry Rice, I remember him. He had a problem, too. He dropped everything. So he corrected it.
Did he ever?
Well, he corrected it, but he did it. That's right. Did he ever? But he did it with a lot of hard work. And this is all this guy needs is more repetitions, because he's only played big-time organized football for a couple years.
Yeah, just 2 years at Ohio State and here in the NFL.
What I liked about him, he didn't really go away from him. They could have discarded him, but they didn't.
3rd and 4. Hostetler looks. First down to Tim Brown at the 8.
Well, anytime it's 3rd and 5 or less, and the Raider offense is on the field, you should triple cover number 81, Tim Brown. And what they love to do, they love to bring him inside where there's a lot of traffic and problems. Look at that. He does a wonderful job of finding the holes, and Jeff Hostetler knows to stay with him, look for him, and Tim Brown will find those holes. Good job by Tim Brown.
You see Zach Thomas on the right of him, on the right of the screen. Well, Tim Brown did. He went in, he saw the middle linebacker sitting in the middle. He just stopped.
Brown started with 70 catches, 7 for touchdowns. First and goal from the 7. Fenner cuts back. Touchdown! Fenner paying the price as he dives for the final 2 yards. Took a solid hit.
I'll tell you, this was also some excellent blocking by the offense of the Oakland Raiders, and also an awful lot of over pursuit by the defense. They get too far to the outside. Watch what Fenner sees. He sees all the over pursuit to the outside. Also, Dudley getting an outstanding block, number 83. Then Fenner cuts right back inside underneath the pursuit.
Injury with Zach Thomas made the tackle. As we await the extra point, we take this break. Derek Fenner able to walk off under his own power after taking that hit from Zach Thomas. Now Cole Ford to try the extra point. Camarillo, the new Raider, to hold, and Ford knocks it down the middle. 7-0. The Raiders go 72 yards in 12 plays. Fenner 6 yards for the touchdown.
You know, when you see this play and you talk about a violent game, watch his left knee and watch Zach Thomas hit him. If that foot would have been down and he couldn't get it up, I mean, that was a great hit.
Zach Thomas sees a pitch to the running back, does the right thing. He says, oh, it's got to go outside, so he sprints outside. But Steve Wisniewski, good athlete, makes contact. When Fenner cuts it back, Thomas comes off the block and hits him at the knees.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
Dick, the good news is it doesn't look too serious for Derek Fenner. The preliminary diagnosis is that it's a twisted left knee. They're going to tape it up, and he's going to try and return. Dick?
Well, that whole drive was a highlight film for Steve Wisniewski. He made block after block after block. Cole Ford rockets one deep, well into the end zone, and Kirby Dardar will take the touchback. 7:26 remains in the first half. Lead here 7-0, midpoint of the second quarter. The best records in the NFL. The Broncos, who lead 14-7 against Seattle. Green Bay has won today. They're matched up next Sunday. 1 o'clock kickoff after our 12 o'clock pregame. And, of course, that's noon in Green Bay, 10 o'clock here in the West.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Dan Marino against the crowd in this Raider defense, and Abdul-Jabbar runs into his own man, does a great job of getting out of that difficulty and turning a loss into a 7-yard gain. Oh, my.
Well, the Raider defensive line just destroys.
Edward McIver, number 66, watch him come flying out. He's a guy that gets back in there. He's a guy that messes it up. Here's McIver.
Whoa.
He gets knocked back into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then he does the rest on his own.
And McLaughlin still had him for a loss on that cutback. And then he runs away from Lynch, and it's second down and short 3. Abdul-Jabbar dives across the 30 and has the first down, but a penalty flag is thrown. And Pat Swilling is pointing back toward the Miami goal line.
Well, so far today, both sides of the ball, the Raider defensive line is just overpowering the Dolphins. Their offensive line, we just saw the drive, but on defense, this Raider defensive line is just pushing the Dolphins around on the pass and the run.
Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
This is the McIver series, Phil. First he gets knocked back into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then he's going to be called for holding.
17-yard line.
And that's on Jerry Ball. I mean, you better hold Jerry Ball.
It's hard to hold him.
You can't get your arms around. I know you can't get your arms around. He walked in the room last night with a sweater that was like 5XL.
Too tight on you, though, Paul.
Just a little bit.
Room number or the sweater size?
It's the sweater size.
Second down, 13. Marino guns incomplete, and Albert Lewis had his mitts on it. Intended for Fred Barnett.
Well, we talk about the Raider defensive line overempowering the Dolphins offensive line. Watch Jerry Ball, number 93, showing some athletic ability, coming around on a game and gets next to Dan Marino. And Albert Lewis is all over the receiver downfield. Fred Barnett had slipped, and Dan Marino was fortunate the ball was not picked off.
Dan Marino, 2 for 5. Dolphins are 0 for 3 on third down, and this is a tough one in your own end. 3rd and 13. Good protection. Leaping catch by Lamar Thomas, and Thomas has a first down at the 32-yard line. Darren Carrington with the tackle.
Absolutely nothing Marino does amazes me. I'm not kidding. Any other quarterbacks or some other quarterbacks in the league, when you look at 3rd and 13 back in your own territory, they kind of panic a little bit. Watch this guy sit here and just wait.
He waits. You're right, Paul. Lamar Thomas put it in the lineup today, not even active last week. Took the place of Scott Miller because he has the athletic ability to go over the middle, outside or whatever, and make some big plays for this Dolphin offense.
First down, and Marino hit as he throws, and that's going to be rolled an incomplete pass. Pat Swilling has his big hit of the game. He leads so often in sacks, 13 a year ago, has 4 this year. Did he get in there quickly?
Oh, he gets in there quickly. Swilling comes from the backside, and it goes inside Richmond Webb on the other side. But watch what happens when this ball goes down. Jerry Ball, there's Swilling making a sack. Jerry Ball, watch what he does. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar picks it up and stands there, and Jerry Ball just drills him. Here's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar standing there. Watch this. Here comes Jerry Ball. Bam! Don't stand around with the ball. And he took it away from him.
Second down and 10. Again, the defensive pressure of the Raiders, very impressive. Abdul-Jabbar loses a yard. Mike Jones leads the Raiders in tackles, number 52, along with Mike Morton to make the stop.
Well, the Raiders doing an excellent job of just running to the football. Watch Craig Beaker, number 54. Mike White told us he is really having a good year, and there he diagnoses the play, runs out there, makes him turn it back inside, and Mike Morton, number 50, makes the tackle.
Well, they were talking about Baker, and he just says, here's a guy that really gets absolutely no credit. In the last few weeks, he has really stepped up, and his play has been outstanding.
3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, and Parmalee in the backfield. On third down and a long 9. Marino, incomplete and almost intercepted by Carl Kidd. Flags are down. Pass intended for Fred Barnett.
Offense.
This is a delay of game penalty, and this is very fortunate because it's still going to be third down, but it'll be 3rd and about 15. They're very fortunate. They almost lost the ball, but it wouldn't have counted anyway because the clock went down, the whistle blew, and the play was dead.
Dan Marino under pressure this entire first half.
Well, the Raiders talked about they want to be aggressive on defense. I don't know if I'd take a chance and blitz. They're getting to the quarterback every single play with a 4-down lineman, so why take a chance and let the Dolphins get a big play?
Again, pressure on Marino, steps up, throws incomplete, intended for Thomas. That almost deflected back into the Raiders' hands. Defense is cheered here at Oakland. They're on their feet.
Dick, we talked about it early in the opening, but when you watch this Raider team play, it is hard to believe sometimes that they're 5 and 7 with some of the talent they have on both sides of the football.
This punt return by Tim Brown will be an NFL record return. At the 25. And to the 31. Tackled by Tim Jacobs. Timeout. 4 minutes plus remain in the half. To Tim Brown, the former Heisman winner out of Notre Dame, 475 career catches coming into this game. He's got 53 touchdowns receiving, and now the all-time exposure as a punt returner. Play action. Hostetler tackled for a loss, flag down as Haas goes down at the 25. Trace Armstrong. If it's a sack, it'll be Armstrong's 6.5.
Well, they're going to call holding on Trace Armstrong. The Raiders trying to run a play-action fake and get around and throw that pass in the flat to Ricky Dudley.
Well, Ricky Dudley and Trace Armstrong is the guy that comes over the field. Ricky Dudley is, I don't know if he's trying to block him or not or just get out, but Trace Armstrong grabs a hold of him and then goes.
Number 95, hands to the face. We will penalize 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Tim Bowen's the penalty call.
Correction, the number is 93.
No, now it's Armstrong.
I say hands to the face. Here he is. Dudley comes out in 83. Watch
There's
this.
Trace Armstrong, number 93. He's got his hand on the face mask. You could see it.
Automatic first down.
So instead of a loss, it'll be marked off from the spot of the foul, which was near the line of scrimmage, and an automatic first down.
Cost himself a sack right there. And we know how those defensive linemen, they treasure those things.
Extra money. Get extra money for sacks.
Armstrong, the former Bear. First down from the 35 for Hostetler, and he is sacked this time as Shane Burton and others collide at the quarterback. So Trace Armstrong, perhaps a bit of extra adrenaline going, was there as well. Third sack for Miami.
You know, the thing about this is that last drive they ran the ball right down the field, right down Miami's throat, and that breaks your back. Here they are. They come out with two solid pass plays in a row.
And watch Shane Burton. Takes Pat Harlow, pushes him back, then goes underneath him and just overpowered Pat Harlow, the left tackle.
Rookie from Tennessee playing well. Napoleon Kaufman hit hard from behind, doesn't fumble as Shane Burton trailing the play, able to make that tackle. Here's another one of Jimmy Johnson's terrific draft picks. 150th player selected, Shane Burton, starting at defensive end.
These guys hit hard. I'm telling you, they really do. These rookies are flying all over the place. Here comes Burton. Watch this shot. Bam! I mean, that's a great hit.
And a terrific job of Kaufman not to cough it up the ball. Third down and 9. It's Kaufman, tripped up, burrowing in with Sean Wooden, another rookie, drafted in the 6th round from Notre Dame.
Did you see Calvin Jackson? That was the corner they came up and forced the play. Calvin Jackson flies, and these guys are just throwing their bodies all over the place.
What's twice on 3rd and 9 or 10 yards, the Raiders just lined up and handed it off like it was first down. And boy, I don't know if you could ever overpower a team enough in the NFL to make a first down in that situation.
They want to get to Mr. Excitement.
So Miami will get the ball just prior to the 2-minute warning here in the first half, trailing 7-0 as Billy Joe Hobart, backup quarterback, the emergency punter, gets away a line drive shot. McDuffie all the way to the 10. And cut down as he crosses the 20. 50-yard punt, 12 on the return. Paul Butcher made the tackle. There's Jeff Gossett, the regular punter. He's injured. Attacked Marino often, 11 times, but you can't put pressure on him. And has Oakland had the heat on the Miami thrower. Now Marino goes to work with 2:04 left in the half, trailing 7-0. 4 wides. Throws underneath and completes to Fred Barnett. That'll be close to a first down at the 32. And the 2-minute warning comes with 1:58 remaining in the half. Marino trying to get the Dolphins even before the gun. 363 touchdown passes to go. This all-time NFL thrower Dan Marino threw his first NFL touchdown against the Raiders. Look at this catch by Joe Rose. He must have known Marino was something special. He wanted to get him started fast. The Dolphins, however, lost that game. The Raiders won 27-14 in his debut. Marino with 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
That set the standard of no interceptions because he's, the best in the NFL.
Oh, unbelievable. With all the many numbers you can use to confirm his greatness, as maybe all-time greatness as an NFL quarterback, is his differential between touchdowns and interceptions. I remember 15 years ago, we talk about anybody that was on the plus side had more touchdowns career than interceptions. That was really good. Look at Marino, 159 more touchdowns. Montana, of course, the great Montana, 134. John Elway in his career, he's had to make a lot of things happen. He's just a plus 44. First down and 10. The throw to Barnett. He's at the 50, breaks a tackle, looking for a block, and goes out of bounds. Encouraged by Albert Lewis at the 43-yard line. So Fred Barnett, the veteran, former Eagle, taking a short pass into a sizable gain of 24 yards.
Well, Fred Barnett, Dan Marino gets time. He's singled up against Carl Kidd, and just a quick route inside and a perfect throw by Dan Marino. And Fred Barnett does a good job looking for the sideline to save a few extra seconds for the Dolphins under 2 minutes.
But one other thing, too, you know, they're this close. They're only 7 points away from tying this football game. You just don't give Dan Marino that many opportunities.
Miami has all 3 timeouts left, 1:49 remaining. 4 wides. Ball batted down as Albert Lewis makes the play, and that was well done by Lewis because Marino had a couple of open men.
Well, Albert Lewis, the Raiders do a good job changing up their defense. He's down here on the slot. He comes free, but Dan Marino sees it. The receiver makes the adjustment, but Albert Lewis does a fine job of timing his jump and knocking the pass down.
You know, they had 2 corners. They had Dan Land, number 25, coming off the other corner, so they had 2 defensive backs, one on either side.
Second down and 10 at the Raider 43. That looks benign, but he's been under a lot more pressure than that. Into coverage, intercepted by Terry McDaniel. McDaniel at the 35. And finally tackled by Lamar Thomas at the 42. Well, a man who has intercepted so rarely, that one thrown into double coverage.
Well, Terry McDaniel's something he does very well. He always looks back at the quarterback so he can see what the quarterback is going to do. The Raiders blitz that time. The Dolphins pick it up. Watch the blitz from down to bottom. The tackle steps out. But watch Terry McDaniel the whole way playing soft, reading the quarterback, making sure nothing goes deep. When the ball is thrown, he breaks underneath the receiver and gets the easy interception.
He leads the Raiders now with 5 on the season, one of them for a touchdown. 4-time Pro Bowler Terry McDaniel. First down with 1:34 for Hostetler. Plenty of time to add to the 7-0 lead. He goes outside to Jett, and James Jett at the 49, short of the first down, stops the clock with exactly 1:30 left.
You know, on this play, Terry McDaniel, when he was backing off, he had the shorter guy, but he let him go. It just drifted back on a deeper guy, and he moves up. He knows he had Albert Lewis short and makes the interception. That's just a great play by the defense.
Second down and 3, a short 3.
One of the reasons he makes all those interceptions, Terry McDaniel, is because the fact that he will play back and watch the quarterback and try to break on the ball.
This is Harvey Williams, first down. And he gets out of bounds, stops the clock. Terrell Buckley makes the defensive play at the 41-yard line. So Jimmy Johnson had watched his team move into Raider range, a chance to tie it before halftime. Now it's the defense of the Dolphins trying to stop Hostetler and Oakland from adding to the lead. A draw play to Williams, breaking tackles, first down to the 29. Wooden and Hill, the last 2 men left, the 2 safeties, getting to the turf.
I think one of the things that people do know about the Miami Dolphins, if you're going to attack their defense, and the best way to do that is put a man on Zach Thomas and go straight at him.
Hostetler batted down at the line of scrimmage, stops the clock, 59 seconds left in the half. Tim Bowens made the play.
You see Tim Bowens going back there, give Wisniewski a little shove.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. These guys just taunt each other all the time. Tim Bowens knocks the ball down, and he's coming back to the huddle, gets a little shot, a little elbow. Here goes Tim. I tell you, yeah, that's Wisniewski's got to hit. Watch this. Wait a minute. He's not done yet. Wait a minute. Tim's not done yet. He's going to give him another little nudge right there. That one. Boom.
Second down and 10. Blitz. Hostetler sidearms it complete to Ricky Dudley, his 5th catch of this first half. Clock running, although the Raiders do have 2 timeouts to use. And now they spend one of them, one remaining, 49 seconds left in the half.
Steve Wisniewski here with Zach Thomas. A little push in the face. Now that's hands to the face.
Hands to the face, right? Then
both of them.
Tim Bowen says, well, that's not a good matchup. He's going to come in and help his buddy out.
Well,
let me just say this. Tim Bowens and Zach Thomas, you're out of your league, boys. This man he is the king. Don't get into that extra business with Steve Wisniewski, because he is, well, he's noted for that. He's not afraid to take a couple shots after the whistle.
No.
He's also shown what he can do during the play. He's really cleared the path for the Raider runners. 3rd down and 8. Hostetler. Flag down as he goes to Jet. No play. No play. Beautiful throw by Hostetler. Wasted, as I believe it was a false start against Oakland. Looked as if the snap was late getting back and everyone had pulled except for the ball.
I'll tell you, when you see most of the defense go, you got to believe that it's against the offense, because I mean, you can get one guy on defense that's going to move.
Dick Antex, the referee.
Encroachment, defense. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down, 3rd down.
Prior to the snap, it had been blown. Apparently contact before the snap.
See, that's the whole difference. I thought this play was against the Raiders, but once you have contact on a defense, you see the contact?
Zach Thomas, number 54, made contact.
Once he makes contact on a defense, then they blow the whistle to play a stop. Now, if Zach Thomas goes through around the outside, they don't touch an offensive man. They'll let the play go. There's Zach, helmet to helmet.
There you can see that's why the play looks so funny. He's hitting the center, and the center couldn't get the ball back to Jeff Hostetler.
So it's 3rd and a short 3 for the Raiders at the 22. Hostetler throws to Brown, and he has a touchdown. Interception leads to a Raider score. Tim Brown kicking out of Terrell Buckley's tackle to make it 13-0.
But you know, you can't say enough about the offensive line of the Raiders because of what they're doing. They're staying with their blocks. They're giving Hostetler, who looks like he's being rushed, a lot more time than we're seeing up here. It has time to throw the ball and find the open receiver. That time, it happened to be Tim Brown.
Brown's 8th touchdown of the season. Old Ford's extra point. And 14-0 Oakland.
Well, Tim Brown, number 81, if it's 3rd and short, he's going to go across the field, try to get that traffic problem. Terrell Buckley actually had good coverage on him, but no rush on Jeff Hostetler allows him a little extra time.
And Mike White says this team still feels good about itself. I like them. He likes this. Tim Brown continues to come up with a big play for the Oakland Raiders. His 8th touchdown to give Oakland a 14-0 lead. 42 seconds left for Miami to try, if they should want something desperate. They do have Miami all 3 timeouts left. Ford, who has really been drilling his kickoffs. This one is short, taken on the fly by Irving Spikes, who finds a crease and is out to the 34-yard line. That'll give Marino some working room.
Well, let's watch Tim Brown on the touchdown, covered by Terrell Buckley. Here's Tim Brown and Terrell Buckley. Watch Tim Brown come across the formation, try to get some traffic problems by his own players and other players on the Dolphins. Jeff Hostetler does a good job of really making something out of nothing. Tim Brown comes back and helps him out. And that is exciting for a quarterback to know that he made the play happen.
Hostetler's 19th touchdown of the season. That's one shy of his best ever. Marino. Lots of time underneath. McDuffie spins and dives to the sidelines and saves a timeout at the 41-yard line. Mike Jones, the tackler, short game. Well, this is what you pay to see. Marino under pressure, has some timeouts, has a lot of field to cover, trying to get his team at least into field goal range.
This might not be the worst thing that could happen to the Dolphins in the second half. If they have to throw the ball more, I think it will tire out the defensive front of the Raiders, slow them down, and then Dan Marino can make something good happen down the field.
4 wides, Parmalee in the backfield with Marino. Good protection. McDuffie doesn't get out of bounds to the 49-yard line, and Marino calls time. 20 seconds left, and 2 timeouts still in Marino's pocket.
You know, this is a situation really that the Miami Dolphins, just to get their composure, need some kind of a score. They would, you know, they would obviously love the 7, but they will take the 3 in this situation to get themselves on the board, because they do get the ball back at the beginning of the second half. It gives them another opportunity. So, you know, with a guy like Marino pulling the trigger, he will go deep if he has to, Phil, but he's not afraid to take the 12 to 15-yard gains either.
Yeah, in this situation, the main goal of this offense and the Dolphins team is just to get a field goal attempt. If they can do that, that would be successful. And to make it, well, they'll really be happy with that. But I've seen so many times when teams play the Raiders, they worry about the pass rush, and the Broncos come to mind. In fact, we did the last game of the season here last year, come out in the shotgun formation right away to tire out that defensive pass rush of the Raiders, because it's always good.
Joe Nedney's longest is 44 yards. First down. Marino ducked away from pressure and hits his man. It's Randall Hill, his first catch, and a first down just outside the 35. Albert Lewis, what a throw.
How do you see that guy? How does he see that guy?
Forget that. How did he escape? And it's a really good job by Dan Marino. He knows right away. Watch him in the pocket. He drops back. He sees Chester McLaughlin come around. So what's he do? Gets up in the pocket. Most quarterbacks would freeze, go backwards, step to the side, and just create problems. Good job of Dan Marino.
Well, that's a terrific point, Phil. That is right. Most of them would have stayed back, try to get away from a big guy.
They would run outside the pocket and just get killed. Dan, you know, he runs into the storm, you know, go towards it.
And then you watch the receivers. Now they come back to him. They see that he's in trouble. So here they just keep going in your pattern. As long as you keep going and moving, you get yourself open, Marino will find you.
Now the situation for Jimmy Johnson's Dolphins. 14 seconds left in the half. 1 timeout remaining as Nedney, from this point, it would be in the 50s a field goal try, which this man in his first year from San Jose State. A lot of friends and family here to cheer for him. His longest 44. So Marino would like to get at least another 10. Incomplete. Through the hands of Fred Barnett, and again Marino goes down. Chester McLaughlin all over him.
Still has time to throw one more, but it's got to be towards the sidelines, and I don't think he's going to go to the end zone with it. It would be another quick shot to the sideline, about a 12-yarder, 12 to 15-yarder to get him in a position.
Well, that would be the gamble, though, wouldn't it? Because everyone must be thinking as you are, just go for the short one to get the field goal, and maybe you find a man open deep.
Well, there's going to be at least one of them down there deep.
9 seconds.
They're offside. Raiders.
Flag down, and the pass just short of O.J. McDuffie with 6 seconds showing on the clock.
What I like is, how did that play only take 3 seconds? And you're in the Raider home area, you know what I mean?
The Raiders.
That was a quick throw.
Yeah.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
So that will take the ball from the 37 to the 32.
Well, 6 seconds left. I mean, now you're really gambling. Even though you have a timeout, can you run any play and not run the time off the clock.
Yeah, you can, because on the top side, what the Raiders are doing with McDaniel and even on the bottom side, they're backing off a little bit. They're going to give him about 6 or 7 yards. If he throws that a real quick out,
Marino guns it to Barnett. Barnett dives out of bounds with 1 second.
Wow. You said a quick out. Don't look at you weren't right.
what do you mean it wasn't right? Is he out or not?
Well, he's outside, but they did just the opposite, Paul. They went down the field.
Whoa.
Don't get mad at me.
Now I'm getting up.
Oh, you get-
13 yards, and Barnett was unable to take his momentum out of bounds, which would have made it quick. He had to dive to get out, and here comes Nedney. The ball will be spotted at the 27-yard line, a 37-yard attempt.
Well, they really fool everybody. They fool me. They go down the field, throw it behind the receiver. Just a great job of executing by Dan Marino and Fred Barnett.
And now time called by the Raiders to give Nedney more to think about. Nedney will replace Pete Stoyanovich when the veteran was traded to Kansas City. The all-time scorer in San Jose State Spartan history, and Dan Marino has given young Nedney a chance to provide Miami with a motivational 3 points before halftime.
And Dick, it is. You know, people, you sit at home and you say, oh, it can't be that big of a lift, 3 points, but it is. It's psychologically, it just eases a lot of pressures on the offense, the team, makes you feel good about what you did before you go in at halftime. Now you can make some adjustments and come out with a good frame of mind in the second half.
They get the ball back in the second half, and they orchestrated that, to just get themselves in a position to get 3 points. Now it's up to Nedney.
From 37.
Movement.
Flags all over as Cal Dixon, one of those moving for Miami. So Nedney hits it cleanly from 37, but
You're going to have to hit it cleanly from 42.
I always
False
wondered.
start. Offense prior to the snap. Number 63. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
so Cal Dixon cost the Dolphins 3 for the moment.
I always wonder what goes through a kicker's mind when they make one like that, and it's not the easiest conditions. Grass field, little wind, going into the wind, and now he has to kick it again.
So now Nedney trying to repeat that effort. His longest is 44, not 41. And this one is no good. Jimmy Johnson, somebody pilfered 3. The penalty cost him the field goal, and Mike White, who started with a very robust attitude from the time we met him yesterday, and it continues. His Raiders lead 14-0 at the break. Back to the sold-out Oakland Coliseum, second sellout of the season for the Raiders, and here are the Coors Light halftime statistics. The rushing being the thing. We talked about that earlier for the Raiders. They've been rushing it well. And of course, Miami trying to build its philosophy around the run, but managing only 16 yards on the ground this first half against a very tough Raider defense.
Even though the Raiders are down by 14 points, Phil, they still have up by 14 points. Miami Dolphins still have to run the football.
Well, you'd like to think they might try, but I don't know. I think they need to pass the ball, come out, be aggressive. And like I said earlier in the first half, I believe that tire out the Raider front four. They're getting overpowered by the big people the Raiders have. Tire them out and see if they can make some plays down the field.
Now we're going to see in a hurry just what Jimmy Johnson has in mind, because Marino in the offense will get it first as Cole Ford has it teed up for the Oakland Raiders.
Kirby Dardar.
Irving spikes and Kirby Dardar await. A tight spinning kick down to the 7. Spikes. Manages just shy of the 20-yard line. For a report, let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, Dick, thank you. I spoke to both coaches. First, Mike White. He wants to keep running the ball. He's very pleased with the way his defensive's played. He said at halftime, guys, we've got to avoid the big mistake in the second half. Now, as for Jimmy Johnson, he was not at all happy with the Dolphins. He told me, I don't know what it is today. We can't run the ball, we can't move the ball, and we can't stop anybody. He told his guys, let's just start over here in the second half. We're only one big play away from changing the direction of this game. Dick?
All right, Jim, with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Stanley Pritchett behind him. Marino goes to work. Abdul-Jabbar out to the 26-yard line. A game of 6+. Mike Morton makes the tackle. Well, the two leaders in the other divisions, the AFC Central, Pittsburgh is lost. The leaders in the East, the Buffalo Bills, upset today. The Denver Broncos apparently here in the West are, if they win, will have the free ride home field through the playoffs this early. Meanwhile, Miami trying to stay in it, and the Raiders trying to rally to 6-6 as Abdul-Jabbar has a first down at the 33. Lorenzo Lynch, the tackler.
Well, something the Dolphins could not do in the first half is create some holes inside and overpower the Raider defensive front. But what's the interior linemen? They do a good job of getting on the defensive linemen and staying with them. And Abdul-Jabbar does a good job of finding the hole and running up in there hard. And yes, Paul, they're coming out with the running game.
Well, I was in the locker room.
And again, Abdul-Jabbar with a bit of flourish to the 39-yard line. A good pickup on first down of almost 6.
You know what's really scary, Dick? When you said about the Denver Broncos that have home field advantage throughout, you know, in postseason play, they've only lost one game in Denver. That is scary.
It'll be interesting to see how they'll play it at Green Bay next week now.
Well, they got a few players hurt, and we talked about at halftime just between ourselves that I think they're going to start resting a couple of those players, trying to get them ready for the playoffs.
Fourth straight run by Abdul-Jabbar. Nothing there this time, as coming up to meet him was Darren Carrington, the safety, and hands him a loss back to the 40-yard line, 35-yard line.
Well, here's a situation when you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and you're running along the line of scrimmage. It's a little easy for us to say, but you've got to turn up now. You've got to take what little bit you're going to get, because otherwise Carrington or whoever is over on that side, they're going to run you right out of bounds.
At the 36-yard line, it's 3rd and 6. Marino goes with 4 wide, 3 to the right. And Parmalee in the backfield. The quickie goes to McDuffie, dives to the 41, but that won't be enough for the first down as Albert Lewis made the defensive play.
Jimmy Johnson does not hesitate. He sends his punting team out immediately on 4th and looks like less than a yard.
Well, where they mark that thing, Phil, it's going to be at least a good yard away or even more than that.
Yeah, you're right.
So John Kidd to punt to Tim Brown. Kidd averaged 44 on his 4 first-half kicks. Flag down. Kidd was run into. Let's see if it's roughing.
If it's just
it won't matter. It's going to be a first down either way.
Exactly. If it's run into, it's a 5-yard penalty.
Kenny Shedd was the man trying to block the punt. 5-yard penalty. It was 4th and a long yard, as you'll recall.
Now, I'll tell you, I really like that rule that they put in a few years ago about running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. I mean, there is such a big difference. There are guys that can't avoid him.
Running into the kicker, 5 yards, first down.
It's a fair penalty, Dick, for the punting team. I mean, that guy is standing back there. He is fair game for anyone. But just when someone just runs into him, I mean, they're not even hurt. Look at this. He's tried to avoid it. That's not a hard hit. I mean, but you're not allowed to do that, and that's a 5-yard penalty. It's a very good call. It's a very good penalty the way they put it in. He's a bad actor.
Yeah, I love the way punters, if you just touch them, go down. Oh, that's right. I got to fall when they hit me.
They're not used to getting hit.
Good point. That's right.
From the 46, the first down, and it's Abdul-Jabbar right into the arms of Greg Beaker. Mike White mentioning yesterday how terrific a season Greg Beaker has been enjoying, this 4-year veteran from Colorado.
A gain of 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
Calls all the signals defensively.
You know, there is in teams where one guy on defense, Lawrence Taylor was that kind of guy, Phil, that can pick up an entire defense and make them and motivate them by their play, not by yelling at them, but by playing the way you're supposed to play.
And flags go down off the snap. Usually means false start. Richmond Webb, the big left tackle, pointing at him.
Pat Swilling will make you do that.
Offense prior to the snap, number 78. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Pat Swilling, number 56, playing right there at the bottom of your screen. And watch, there's movement. Well, both guys, Sims and Webb, both moved.
5 yards makes it 2nd and 13. Ball at the 43-yard line. First possession of the second half. The Raiders lead 14-0. Nearly 4 minutes gone in this third quarter. Marino intercepted by Mike Morton, the linebacker, and Morton with his first NFL interception.
The pass was intended for Stanley Pritchett. Intercepted by Mike Morton.
14 yards on the return. Morton playing because Rob Fredrickson out for the rest of the year with shoulder surgery. Raiders have it at the Miami 37. The Raiders with their second interception of Marino, and Napoleon Kaufman on first down with a good run around the left side for about 5.
Well, we talk so many times that pressure in the quarterback's face makes him throw the ball to places he doesn't want to, and that's what happened to Dan Marino on that play. Not able to step up, loses control of the ball, and Mike Morton makes the interception.
Hostetler leading 14-0, dumps it out to Kaufman, and Kaufman stumbles to the 30-yard line. And then there was an interesting moment after the interception that involved the thrower Marino and veteran Pat Swilling, 56.
Watch Swilling what he does now. He's got Marino. He's holding him, and he won't let anybody else hit Marino. Watch this. Come here. Come here. Don't hit him, Chester McLaughlin. You don't hit him. Just stay right here with me, Dan.
And Chester could have really taken him out there because Dan was upset about the interception, not looking and protecting himself, and that's good sportsmanship, and Dan Marino was fortunate.
Third down, a short 4. Flags down. Fenner tackled short of the first down at the 30. Zach Thomas, how quickly he got out there to cover.
Derek Fenner, the running back, the fullback, gets caught leaning forward, anticipating the count because he knows he's one of the primary receivers out in the flat.
Just remember something, folks. A back, when they're in motion, they don't stop the play. Only when the linemen are moving. No way, you don't want to. I mean, they stopped him on his play. Do you want to give him a penalty and give him another third down shot? It'd be 4th down.
4th and 2.
Well, maybe 2.5.
Illegal shift, 2 men moving at the same time. Penalty is declined.
Yeah.
4th down.
So Cole Ford will attempt a field goal for the Raiders. Ford, who is 16 for 21.
Well, Tim Brown was in motion. Watch Derek Fenner, the fullback, not allowed to move. He goes, whoa, yes. Tippy-toe.
Ooh, Jeff Hostetler, that was a fairly late hit. 48-yard attempt by Cole Ford, a rookie or second-year man from Southern California. His longest is 47, so this would be his best effort of the year.
No, that doesn't have a chance.
That didn't even make it to the end line. Easy to boo kickers, and so they do. 9:22 left in the third. It remains 14-0 Oakland.
Well, when you look at this kick here by Cole Ford, watch Camarillo. The ball, look where the strings are facing him, and that ball goes dead right. You've got to get the strings straight ahead or straight back at the kicker.
Which they were originally trying to spin him away. Marino on first down from the 38. Dumps it off to Abdul-Jabbar. Out of bounds across the 45-yard line. Let's go back. That was a curious play. Pat Swilling, that is almost sportsmanship taken to another level by Swilling. Watch McLaughlin now. He's coming up. He's going to level in on Marino. And Swilling said, no, he's not going to make the play.
I see, if that would have been me throwing that interception, I would have been upset. Go ahead, Chester, and hit me, because I deserve it for being so stupid for throwing that pass.
Does that show you, they tell you about his mentality? Go ahead, hit me in the mouth.
Yeah.
Wake me up.
For Giant fans everywhere, that explains a lot. They've been waiting for that.
Oh, wait. It happened to me once against the Los Angeles Rams, and not to go on about this, but Kevin Green hit me, and he really did nail me. And he says, "Oh, Phil, I'm so sorry." And I said, "I don't care, Kevin. I deserve it. I'm glad you knocked it." And we became friends after that.
Oh, I bet you would.
Yeah, no.
What, do you get Christmas cards now from him?
No, every time he knocked me down after that, he'd help me up.
That doesn't mean that Swilling is going to tee off on the next pass play and try to hit Marino into the next county on a sack.
The same with Chester. Chester just wants it when it really counts, when he's back there ready to throw the football.
Ball is out to the 48-yard line as Marino is going to the sidelines.
They're going to measure this. I mean, this thing looks like it's about a yard short. I'm looking at the flag on the other side of the field now. That's not the one that they're going to use, but this thing looks really short unless Marino's looking for some time.
Pretty close. A couple of links on the chain, and it'll bring up third down.
Paul, what it is, the guys on the other side just have bad eyesight. They can't line up with the people, the official chain markers on the side closest to us.
So trailing 14-0. Under 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Another big play for Miami. The 1 of 6 on third downs in the game. With McDuffie in motion, Abdul-Jabbar is stuffed.
You know, this really is decision time for Jimmy Johnson. No, he isn't. He's going to punt the ball away. You know, with that much, we looked at what? 2 chain links. Why don't they quarterback sneak? I mean, I know Marino is padded up pretty good.
I'll tell you why. Well, because it's Dan Marino and you got Chester McLaughlin and Jerry Ball inside, and they just cannot move them backwards. And so the quarterback sneak might not have worked either.
So on fourth down and less than a yard, Kidd to punt. Tim Brown to receive. Lets it bounce and into the end zone. The touchback for the Raiders. Timeout. 7:44 left in the third. The Raiders by 14. Raiders fake the reverse to Brown, and then the throw for Harvey Williams is incomplete at the 35.
Whoa, I'll tell you what. Did you see when Tim Brown comes around and the fake to Tim Brown? He comes out here in the flat and not a soul went with him.
Well, there was a lot going on that time. A lot of faking, a lot of motion. Watch Tim Brown come around. They've run the reverse. They've run the reverse pass. This time, a different look. Let the quarterback throw it, and you could see up in the top, nobody was looking at Tim Brown.
Well, Daniel Stubbs was there. As soon as he saw he didn't have it, he laid off. But he was the only guy over on the Miami right side. 2nd and 10. Draw. Williams. Maybe a yard. Darryl Gardner made the tackle. 300-pound rookie from Baylor.
You know, the one thing about Steve Wisniewski in the game, and I know that the players respect him for this, he doesn't stop. Here's Wisniewski now on Darryl Gardner. Now watch Wisniewski. Here he is. He's going to somebody else. I mean, I got time. Armstrong said, "Wait a minute, will you quit pushing me?"
You get to know him, don't you? Doesn't matter where you play. You're going to get to know.
Every single guy along that front 7 of Miami knows who he is. He introduces himself.
Third down 9. Flags go flying, offside, and then the dump ball. No, now they're going to say no play. Looked as if that, I guess there was contact again before the snap by Miami. Unless it was a false start.
False start. Offense, number 75 prior to the snap.
Tackle
5-yard
Pat
penalty,
Harlow.
still third down.
That'll be the left tackle over here. There he is. Now, what's he doing? Watch this. You be the judge. He does. He rocks back. Now, they can flinch. They can do it as long as they don't get in the neutral zone. But there is on the top side, that's Armstrong. Trace Armstrong is in a neutral zone, but Harlow had already moved.
Yeah, I thought Miami had moved first, but they had not made contact. Nevertheless, 5 yards against the Raiders to the 16.
Stetler going long to Jet. Incomplete. Jet had done all the right things. He had run his man deep. J.B. Brown came back for the ball but couldn't pull it in.
That was a great job by J.B. Brown, just trying to stay in the area, Phil, because this is the hardest pass to defend, the one that's thrown short.
Yeah, he was in trouble, Paul. Like you say, that when the ball is short, it's hard for the defensive back to make the adjustment. The wide receiver right there, I thought James Jett should have made the adjustment and made the catch.
Went right through his hands, hit him in the knee. Uh-oh, Mr. Excitement again. Billy Joe.
Billy Joe hit one for 51 yards, a line driver. O.J. McDuffie sneaks up a couple of steps to the 40.
Oh, look at this.
Great kick toward the sidelines. And out of bounds. No return on that one at the 30-yard line. The NFL has a new punting star, Billy Joe.
Back to Oakland, I'm Jim Gray. Well, Billy Joe Holbert has punted for 4 years with Jeff Gossett. During halftime, Jeff Gossett, the regular punter who has a couple of cracked ribs, told me that he recommended Holbert be the guy because he can uncork one every now and again and has in his 4 years during practice. Dick?
All right, thanks, Jim Gray. A first down pass to O.J. McDuffie from Marino. Morton with the tackle. When Billy Joe came to the sidelines, lots of congratulations and smiles. That was a 54-yard punt, no return by Holbert. They call affectionately Mongo here with the Raider
He's got
club.
a lot of nicknames out here.
First down, Miami at the 43. Dolphins trail 14-0. Just under 6 minutes left in the third. Irving Spikes seeing some duty, and a flag down as Spikes is tackled at the 50. That usually means a 10-yard holding going the other way.
You know, we talked to Mike White, and we've talked to other coaches about, you know, Mike, especially Mike White. You know, we don't get a break. They don't throw flags against the other teams. They always throw them against us. I've seen how many holding penalties we've seen against Miami today. They are
Offense,
calling
number
everything.
61, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Center, Tim Ruddy, yeah. He's on Jerry Ball, number 93, and you better hold him if you can. There's Jerry Ball. Watch this. He's got him. He got his arm around him. Pulls him back aside. That's a good call by the officials.
First down 20. Batted in the air. Rejected, and Chester McLaughlin had his sights set on it. He fly swatted that big old Chester from Clemson.
This has been an outstanding defensive game for the Raiders. Chester McLaughlin, 91.
Well, it's a quick drop by Dan Marino, and Chester McLaughlin just does a good job of getting penetration on a three-step drop. An offensive lineman cannot let a defensive lineman get past that line of scrimmage.
That'll make his mom Hazel, who works for the fire department back there in Whiteville, North Carolina, proud. Second and 20. Drilled is the receiver, Fred Barnett, but hangs on as Darren Carrington makes the tackle out near midfield.
We saw a catch last week by Penn of Kansas City that makes a great catch and getting hit. Watch Fred Barnett coming back on Albert Lewis, cuts to the inside. The ball is right there. Bam, the hit is there. Holds on to it.
16 yards on the play. Third down and 4.
Barnett's hurt. It just looks like maybe the wind or something, but you know, this guy, you talk about fighting back. I mean, this is a tough player.
So wife is a talented ballet dancer, like Jackie, and his inspiration. So third down, and called it a long 3. 1 for 7 is Marino on third downs today. Safety blitz. They pick it up. Incomplete. Intended for O.J. McDuffie, and Albert Lewis defended.
Phil, the Raiders had 9 guys along the line of scrimmage. Now, Albert Lewis is in coverage, so he's sliding along. But along this line of scrimmage, I mean, there are 9 guys down. Darren Carrington comes up, and here's a ball by Albert Lewis knocking it down. That was his man, O.J. McDuffie. But that was a strange defense. I mean, they were all up except for 2 guys.
But the veteran Lewis making a terrific play as John Kidd sends a high spiral. Tim Brown with a fair catch at the 9-yard line. 4.5 left in the third. It's still the Raiders by 14.
Watch how close the Dolphins are to a really big play. Here's O.J. McDuffie. Albert Lewis following him. Watch the traffic jam that's in the middle. O.J. McDuffie now should be going underneath the defense. Instead, he goes up the field. Albert Lewis is able to come underneath it and knock the pass down. But the little things, Dick, that's what makes a difference in a game. The angle, the receiver, if he'd have taken a better angle, cut behind his receiver, Albert Lewis could not have got there to defend the pass.
Meanwhile, it's Polaroids and Luke Cleats on the sidelines as the Raiders go to work with a 14-point lead late in the third from their 9-yard line. Hostetler gives it to Derek Fenner, who had a touchdown earlier, and he takes a solid wallop from Sean Wooden. Shane Burton assists.
The thing looked like the pit at Indy. Those guys changing tires, changing cleats. They got the drill going. I mean, you know, these guys change all the time. I mean, guys, I can't. These cleats are too short. They're too long.
Sean Wooden, the rookie from Notre Dame, moved to strong safety, replacing Louis Oliver, and Sean Hill inserted into the starting lineup of Jimmy Johnson today. Raiders running the ball effectively, and it's Fenner close to a first down at the 19. Dwight Hollier made the stop. Other scores roll through. First down for Oakland.
Well, Jimmy Johnson a couple times today has shown his faith in his defense by not going for it on 4th and a foot, 4th and a couple inches, and the defense has responded. But how many times can they keep stopping this Raider offense and giving it back to the Dolphin offense?
3:20 left in the third period. And a flag. Looked like Kevin Gogan was a little too quick in his movement.
Michael Stewart was getting banged around by Andrew Glover. I mean,
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
325-pound Kevin Gogan.
Yeah, when he moves, you know he does. And then Michael Stewart, watch this, number 35. Watch him come in. There's Dudley. There's Glover. Watch these 2 guys. Bang, bang.
Get out of here. First down and 15. Fenner driving out to the 17-yard line. Steve Empman and Tim Bowens and others down low to trip him up. Clock ticks away late in the third. Raiders scored in the second period on a Hostetler to Tim Brown, a 22-yard touchdown pass after Derek Fenner had run for a 6-yard score. And meanwhile, it's been maybe the best effort of the season by the Raider defense. They have stymied Miami the entire afternoon. Closest Miami to scoring was missing a 42-yard field goal after a 37-yarder was canceled by a 5-yard penalty. Last play of the first half. Harvey Williams, only a yard. Zach Thomas with another tackle. So third down and 12. Hostetler over the middle. And it's Harvey Williams tackle at the 21. Zach Thomas another. He's going to be in double figures in tackles. And Hostetler goes down hard as he delivers the ball. And of course, Jeff, with more than his share of injuries in his years here with the Raiders, apparently okay.
Tim Bowens, number 95, is the man that's going to hit Jeff Hostetler. And it's good coverage down the field. Look, good protection, plenty of time. Oh, well, nobody hit him. Looks like he might have caught his cleat in the turf.
Here comes one of the stars for the Raiders today, Billy Joe Hobart with Terrell Buckley deep. Ooh, just gets that away and a flag goes with it. Fair catch by Buckley at the 48-yard line, but running into the punter.
No, this one's going to be 15 yards. This is roughing the kicker. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So Hobart in an incredible role. It's like one of those chaps in the play that has one line and seals the entire show.
15 yards, roughing the kicker.
This is roughing the kicker. When you hit this guy and he goes down like that, they just get, I mean, they're over anxious. You got a bunch of young people. They figure we're going to turn the game around. Here we are as special teams. We're going to make something happen. And they come up, watch this. He's being hit. I mean, I can understand that call.
Larry Izzo, who has blocked one punt, the rookie from Rice. And he gets enough of him to earn a 15-yard roughing penalty out to the 37 and a first down.
You know what I'm looking at this offense of the Raiders? Ever since that first drive when they scored a touchdown, Dick, it's almost like, okay, we're 14 points up. Let's not lose the ball game.
That's right. That's exactly what they're doing. The Dolphin offense cannot move the ball in the Raider defense, so why take a chance?
Hostetler to Tim Brown. And Brown out of bounds at the 49-yard line. 31 seconds on the clock. Third quarter, 14-0 Oakland.
A gain of 11. First and 10 Raiders at the 48.
There's just no way that I can imagine a guy like Tim Brown, where I don't care whether he goes in motion or if he blocks at the line of scrimmage, that he is left alone. You know, because you know that is Hostetler's favorite target.
He does seem to be open all the time, doesn't he? Those short crossing patterns. Hoffman to the midfield stripe, a gain of about one, and little extra words from Barrett Robbins with one of the Miami players as the final seconds tick away in the third. Rich Camarillo signed as the punter to replace Jeff Gossett. Broken ribs out, but came up a bit lame, and so Billy Joe Hobart has been a solid replacement. Ricky Dudley, the tight end, fumbled the ball. Let's see who has it. A scramble at the 43. No signal yet. Yes, Miami Dolphins have recovered. So Dudley, who's had trouble hanging on to it, has been enjoying a big day, but Sean Wooden able to come up with the ball as it appeared Buckley stripped it away.
Terrell Buckley makes a nice play, and you know they already gave the ball to Miami, and they get down there fighting over the football. There's no reason for it. Sean Wooden gets the ball, but Terrell Buckley makes an outstanding play on Dudley. He stays with him, goes up, makes the hit. Now, watch this. He just reaches in and knocks the ball out of his hand. Boy, is that, I mean, that's heads-up football.
That's staying with it. Ricky Dudley was going to try to reach that ball out to get that extra half yard. Terrell Buckley, being smart, reaches in and knocks it out.
First takeaway by Miami today at the 43. First play of the fourth quarter goes to Miami on a fumble. Marino goes long for Barnett. Intercepted. Albert Lewis, the veteran, has his second of the year. Dan Marino, no touchdowns and 3 interceptions today.
Fred Barnett on Albert Lewis. He makes the move, but Albert Lewis knows Dan Marino likes to throw those hard, long balls, and he turns around in time to see it and make the interception, and Dan Marino is upset. You've got to put that one either behind the receiver or way out in front. Not a good throw.
When he's upset right there, Phil, is he upset with himself, you think, or Barnett for not coming back to the ball?
With himself, because when you throw that ball on the line like that, Paul, when you're going down the field, it's got to be to the back shoulder of the wide receiver. He threw it to the inside where only Albert Lewis had a chance to catch it.
40th career interception for Lewis. So back-to-back turnovers. Back underneath it goes to Tim Brown, a short yardage. Zach Thomas, the tackler. Well, Miami, when they get a little glint, a little opening, an opportunity, and the Raiders seem to have all the answers defensively.
I've watched the Raiders. We've done them a few times, and you sit there and look at this defense, and I don't know of a better effort. My wife told us yesterday. She says, I'm really confident about this football team. This football team is kind of reached it now. They know their backs are against the wall, and I have a lot of confidence in them. You have a lot of confidence in your defense, I can tell you that.
2nd and 6, and Fenner to the 30, maybe the 31 on the lean. Hollier and Stubbs collaborate on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 3. Mike Jackrabbit White, who coached at his alma mater, the University of California, grew up here on the east side of the Bay. Quite an athlete, although always small through his athletic career, but was kind of the decathlete of sports. Played rugby, football, was a track man.
Still runs a lot. I mean, he really looks great and gets out there every day and runs 6-8 miles, get rid of the frustrations of being a head coach in the NFL.
3rd and short 4 for Hostetler. Gets it out to Fenner, incomplete, and Zach Thomas was there in time to spoil the fun for Oakland. Thomas seems to be everywhere.
You know, the one thing about Zach Thomas, Phil, I don't care where the ball is. I'm going to nail the guy that's going to catch it. His job right now, watch his head. He never looks at the ball. He's got Fenner. Here comes Fenner. I'm going to nail you. You catch it, you're going down. And that's perfect timing.
Well, that's what you want in your linebacker. If it moves, hit it. And Zach Thomas does it. The ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, so even if he hit Derek Fenner early, it would not have been pass interference. Shaden Burton is the one who reached up and got a piece of the ball.
Now Hobart to punt once again.
Billy Joe.
Give him a saliva test. Terrell Buckley. And the cornerback turned punt returner is out to the 35-yard line. 13 minutes and change remain. 14-zip.
Back in Oakland, when the Dolphins hit 4th down after the Raiders failed on offense, Dan Marino, who didn't say anything to anybody the entire time during that defensive set, walked over to his offensive line and said, hey, guys, stick together. We only lost a minute, and we should be able to pick things up and do better. Dick?
Well, they're doing better in a hurry as they go to the big tight end for the first time, Troy Drayton, and he rambles all the way to the Raider 32. A 36-yard gain, the longest play of the day for Miami.
And boy, Troy Drayton, what an athlete. Look at number 84 is going to come across the field on the play-action fake. He has size, and the one thing this big man can do, when he catches it, he can run. And Paul, you just looked at me before this play and said, Troy Drayton, how come they're not throwing the ball? And it makes me wonder, too, because he is so explosive once he catches it.
265-pound tight end they acquired from the Cardinals, Abdul-Jabbar. Only a yard, maybe 2. Dan Marino entered this game with the best interception record in the NFL. 1.8% of his throws picked. And uncharacteristically today, the Raider defense has changed his pattern. No intercepts the last 3 and 3 today.
Well, as soon as you said it, you threw one the next play.
2nd down and 9. I don't mind. Go ahead. Blame me. Abdul-Jabbar cutting back. Wrapped up at the 30. No gain. Albert Lewis. What a game for Lewis.
Well, that time, Dan Marino was in the huddle, and I saw him wave at the sideline in disgust, and now I know why, because they sent in a running play. He did not like it. The Raiders, penetration, everybody in the backfield, it had no chance.
You say, well, why doesn't he audibilize? You just don't have you don't have the right people to go anywhere else with it.
Well, because the head coach tells you not to audibilize in those situations. You do what the coaches tell you.
Tipped. Incomplete. Flag. Dan Land in on the quarterback.
Carl Kidd on Fred Barnett, number 46, down here on the bottom left. It looks like a penalty but the ball is tipped, but that doesn't make any difference. This was a holding penalty that I think they're calling. Now, pass interference, if the ball is tipped, that's okay. But when you have a holding penalty, that counts anytime.
Holding prior to the pass. Defense, number 46. 5 yards, automatic first down.
A big first down penalty for Miami.
You know, you say, well, why would this guy hold because it's away from the play? He's covering Fred Barnett. He's got a job to do. He doesn't know where Marino's going to go with the ball.
That, and it was a blitz. He had single coverage on him, so he was a little worried. Over-aggressive holding. Big break for the Dolphins.
First down at the 25, trailing 14-0. And a fumble, it appeared, and the Raiders say they have it. They do.
I will say this one thing, Dick. This will be a game that Marino would love to forget.
Well, I think Dan Marino could sense the fact that they were going to blitz. He's pulling out just a little too soon. The ball's on his fingertips. That's a good shot of the quarterback leaving before the snap of the ball.
And a disgusted Dan Marino. 3 interceptions, now a fumble. Goes over to his center, Tim Ruddy. Said, hey, it's on me. It's my fault. Later, he was pointing at himself. At the 26, a loss of a yard as Napoleon Kaufman tackled by Daniel Stubbs. Let's go back to Marino's day, mad day for him to be mad. First intercepted by Terry McDaniel. And then another by linebacker Mike Morton. Some of these throws certainly aren't what you would expect from Marino. And then Albert Lewis, perfect coverage. And then the fumble. So 14-0. The Raiders creating some agony in the face of Dan Marino. Second down 11. Hostetler over the middle. Complete to Darrell Hobbs. His first catch. Hobbs with 36 on the season.
You know, Dick, the interesting thing about the Miami Dolphins, I mean, how do you figure it? They've had the ball 6 possessions. They started with the opening kickoff in the second half. 6 possessions in this half, 3 punts, and 3 turnovers. You know, when you talk about uncharacteristic about a team.
That, and they've had good field position this whole second half, and the Raiders have been so conservative on offense because, well, the Dolphins keep messing it up, so why take a chance?
Or if you're a Raider fan, the defense has been too tough for the Dolphins. 3rd and 2. Wide open is Kaufman. Gets a running start and all the way to the 45-yard line. First down. Armstrong and Buckley finally get him to the ground.
Well, the Dolphins come on a blitz. They send the linebackers up in the middle. Napoleon Kaufman, nobody is covering him. Jeff Hostetler knows if they blitz, he's the hot receiver, dumps it off to him, and Napoleon Kaufman does an excellent job of running up the field, getting extra yardage.
11 on the play, 9:08, 9:07 left in the fourth. A win for the Raiders would move them to 6-7 and drop the Dolphins to the same count. First down, Hostetler. James Jett, loose coverage. First down, flag down.
This will be a face mask penalty. And they'll tack that on at the end. It'll be a 5-yarder.
Harris on the tackle.
Face mask, defense, number 27, 5 yards, first down.
That'll take it inside the Miami 40.
Terrell Buckley coming up trying to make the play, and it's you know, not meant to be, but they called it on Terrell Buckley, and it wasn't him. It was on Sean Hill, number 31.
12 yards.
It's a shame you get accused of something you didn't do. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's happened to me.
Yeah, well, after those guys keep hitting you in the head after those interceptions, a lot of things should happen.
Well, look at the Dolphin defense being a little conservative, and now's the time of the game, and they have to come up here and really take a chance now to stop this Raider drive.
Kaufman. Oh, Dwight Howyer just sliding down the legs at his ankles as he was ready to sprint down the sidelines.
1 yard gain. Second and 9. 37.
Well, the Dolphins get everybody up the field, and if Dwight Howyer good job of keeping outside technique. That enables him to fall off and make the tackle. If he'd have gambled, went inside, Napoleon Kaufman would have had a big game.
That's why you must be aware of where you are on the field and who's to your inside, because once people get outside, now you have no one out there to help you.
Kaufman with 42 yards rushing today. Fenner with 40. 2nd and 9. Hostetler to the 30-yard line. 29. Tim Brown hit by Buckley. It'll be shy of a first down by a yard.
What a job by Tim Brown. He just stayed in front of Terrell Buckley. He is a small corner. Tim Brown would be considered a pretty big receiver. He keeps his body in front of him, and there's no way Buckley can get around him and make the play.
Meanwhile, the clock runs. 7:20 left in the 4th. Shooting for another 1,000-yard season is Brown. He's been over that mark the last 3 years. Hostetler wide open to his left. Chased by Hollier to safety, and a first down at the 21.
You know, Daniel Stubbs comes upfield in Hostetler season. When he goes upfield and sells himself, number 96 at the bottom of the screen, watch what he does. Pat Arlo just takes him out. Stubbs goes around, and Hostetler just sees the hole. There's no way for Stubbs to get back in. Does the smart thing, tucks it away, picks up the first down.
Well, I think that's the 3rd time today on 3rd and less than a yard. The Raiders have run a play-action pass. They have never gotten the ball down the field with the throw, but Jeff Hostetler scrambled a couple times for first downs.
8th play of the drive. Fenner hit by Tim Bowens. Dropped at the 20, a gain of 1. Well, in the first half, it was interesting that the Dolphins had not been shut out the first half of the game in 32 games. And now they're looking for points, still blanked with 6 minutes remaining, and the Raiders a 2-touchdown lead and well into field goal range. And chewing up the clock now under 6 minutes. Tough day for Dan Marino. Maybe a yard. Anthony Harris, Trace Armstrong in on the stop.
Anthony Harris on the tackle.
Now this is such a big game for those that are out in the fringe for a playoff, in that a win by the Raiders, although they would have a tie in record with Miami, it would put them ahead because of the head-to-head, as Al Davis, the Hall of Fame owner.
You know, they've taken some shots at Al this week in here in Oakland and talking about, you know, the game has passed him by. That man I've known for 41 years, recruited me in college. I'll tell you one thing, he's forgotten more football than most people know. This guy put this team together.
3rd and 9. Hostetler throws it away. Wisely so. 4th and 9. Cole Ford to try the field goal. The last time the Dolphins were shut out, 9 years ago, Buffalo in 1987. So Dan Marino, with the kind of talent he has, you just don't put the goose egg on him or Miami.
Well, the new style, the way they're playing, they run the football more than they have in the past. They're not as explosive with the wide receiver position. Well, you know, not that this could happen, but the Raider defense, like you said, Dick, they're playing excellent football, so it's been a tough day for Dan Marino.
Ford with 1 miss. This one 10 yards shorter. 38 out of Camarillo's hold. And it is good. He just did slide that one inside the upright.
I'll tell you, both these kickers bring excitement to the game for the Raiders.
17-0 Oakland. You're watching the NFL on NBC. Fans enjoying a 17-0 lead, and they have been rough on Marino. Irving Spikes comes up on the 10, 20, and to the 34-yard line. James Folston with a tackle. And a look at the remaining schedule for the Raiders, who feel maybe they run the table. They get in the playoffs at 9-7. Kansas City on a Monday night next game, then at Denver, and Denver already clinching all the important positions, and then Seattle at home. So
you know, Dick, when you look at this team, though, and this time of the year, Phil, this is when the defenses must take over, because they're going to play cold weather games. The defenses come in to play at the end, and the Raiders, where they played today, you were right at the beginning. They have a good chance of running the table.
Incomplete. McDuffie handcuffed with that bullet from Marino. Albert Lewis was right there for the Dolphins. And Jimmy has said it didn't need 4 wins for him. He thought 3 out of 4 would get Miami in at 9-7. They have the Giants at home next week, and then Buffalo at home before they finish at the Jets. So a softer final 3 for Miami.
Yeah, but those 3 out of 4 he wanted in the AFC, and this was one of the games that he wanted.
I think they have a hard time, in case of a tie, winning the tiebreakers against the other AFC teams. And the same goes with the Raiders. Even if they go 9-7, the playoffs are not a high possibility.
Marino. Oh, he had to wiggle and wag in order to get the ball out to Parmalee. Shy of the first down. Flags are down. Big old Chester McLaughlin. He is a force in on Marino.
And he was offside. He gets a run him. I was thinking they were going to stop this play because it looked like Chester McLaughlin had a free run at Marino.
Offside. Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Big old Chester, you know, he's coming off the top, number 91. Now watch when he gets across the line of scrimmage. Let's see if somebody picks him up. See, now he's got a shot, but Ruddy comes in and really saves Marino's life. You're right. Chester was about to nail him.
2nd and 5, 4.5 minutes left, 17-0. Almost offside again. McLaughlin out of the backfield to Parmalee, using the sidelines, and will save a timeout as he steps out of bounds at midfield. First down. Miami has its 3 timeouts left.
Would someone explain to me what the neutral zone is?
Yeah,
I would love to know what the neutral zone is, because Chester McLaughlin again is in the neutral zone, if there's such a thing as that. Look at number 91. What is it? Where is that? That is the neutral zone.
I think it was offsides. I think he was
top of the neutral zone.
Past the neutral zone.
Boy. Marino, 4 wide receivers. Flag down. And another deflected pass by the Raiders. This time, Andre Bruce got a hand on it.
They got legal motion by the Dolphins this time. They were moving. This play would have never happened.
Prior to the snap, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's at least 2 for Richmond Webb. Number 78, left tackle, that's movement. Once you move, once you are in a position, whether you're in a 3-point stance or a 2-point stance, makes no difference. Once a lineman is set, that's it.
Now, how could they see that little movement?
Yeah,
They couldn't see
big Chester.
320-pound Chester McLaughlin offsides. That's
got to be alarming to Jimmy Johnson. Not only those statistics, but 10 penalties against Miami today. Down the middle, almost intercepted again. Darren Carrington hopping at the opportunity.
Darren Carrington couldn't get by the receiver, and that's what he's all upset about. Lamar Thomas was there. He couldn't get around him. Lamar Thomas gets his hand back inside. This ball should have been intercepted. This should have been number 4.
Yeah, just the Dolphin receivers have been so rarely open, even when they have caught passes. There've been a black jersey right on them.
Well, that's one of the problems they've had all year, Dick. They can't separate from the defensive backs. The Raiders, the one thing they have speed at the corners, so it's making it tough on the Dolphin receivers.
Marino to Parmalee, and that one through traffic, incomplete. Parmalee couldn't pull it in as Mike Jones was on him. Again, just tight coverage. Well, you thought Miami, a lot of folks, as you see Marino deliver again, it's easy to forget that 2 players that are starring in this league were in Dolphin uniforms recently.
Yes.
You got
Irving Fryer, another big day today. And then I'm just guessing Keith Jackson.
Well, how about the fella down in San Diego?
That's a pretty good one, too. That's right. That was a few years ago. Keith Jackson, I always hear Dan Marino talking about him, how much he loved him to throw the football to him as a tight end.
Marino again to the sidelines, and Lamar Thomas turns it up enough to get the first down. That was an alert play by Thomas, who played at the University of Miami. He was about to go out of bounds a yard shy and cut it upfield enough for the first down.
Tony Martin, San Diego.
That's it.
It was just the leading touchdown maker in the league catching the ball.
Well, he just couldn't catch the ball when he was at Miami. He was just breaking in, trying to learn a few things of the trade. And well, back then they had so many good receivers, they didn't have to wait on you. They could move you on and pick up another player.
Well, those are three outstanding players that Marino does not have now. Quick toss. What a catch by Fred Barnett. How did he stretch that far?
What a pass. What a pass. I mean, Fred Barnett makes a great move, but what a pass. Carl Kidd has no chance on this ball. And watch Barnett. Watch him stretch his arms to make the catch. Look where the ball is. Over the head of Kidd. He has no chance to turn.
That's how Dan Marino meant to throw that pass a few series ago that was intercepted by Albert Lewis. High into the outside where his receiver is the only one that can get it.
Underneath this time, it goes to Bernie Parmalee. Tackled just shy of the 10-yard line by Dan Land. Back to Barnett. He leads the Dolphins with 6 catches and 95 yards today. Clock running, 3:18. 17-0 the deficit, staring at Marino and Miami. Guns this one incomplete. And O.J. McDuffie had it, but Albert Lewis timing his hit perfectly.
Albert Lewis goes to the Pro Bowl for today. I mean, this guy just has had a phenomenal football game.
36 years old. We're talking about Marcus Allen, the oldest running back. Here's Lewis playing a tough corner, still has his speed, and of course all the wisdom that comes with his 14 years in the league out of Grambling.
You know, not only does he intercept passes, knocks him down, but he made some pretty good run stops today.
3rd and 3 with 3 minutes 8 seconds left in the 4th. Marino has to spend a timeout. It's still Oakland by 17. Miami 3rd down 3 at the Raider 10. The fade incomplete, flag down. Fred Barnett covered by Carl Kidd. Dan Marino has had an atypical afternoon for this great NFL superstar. 3 interceptions and a fumble. No touchdowns, obviously. He's compiled 246 yards, but this has been the deepest penetration by Miami for the afternoon.
Illegal hands, defense, hands to the face, number 46. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Carl Kidd, number 46. Man coverage on Fred Barnett. Hands to the face.
I didn't see any hands to the face.
I must need glasses.
Unless his face dropped about 6 inches.
He's got a big chin.
I think so. No, you're right, Carl. You didn't grab his face.
1st and goal at the 5.
You held him, but you didn't grab his face.
Same play, incomplete, same result. 2 flags.
Now we got just pass interference.
That'll be the 3rd call against Kidd here in the 2nd half.
Well, he never is able to turn around and look for the ball, run into the receiver.
Pass interference, defense in the end zone. By rule, the ball is placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
If I was Carl Kidd, I'd go to Marino and say, would you throw that thing someplace else, please?
Well, Carl Kidd down here at the bottom of your screen is never going to have a chance to turn around and look for the ball, so that is definitely pass interference. I mean, you're playing the Miami Dolphins. You're a defensive back. You've got to know they're going to try that play down the goal line in those situations.
So the Raiders use their first timeout. Leading 17-0. Miami at the 1 when we come back. 3:01 left. Miami trying to avoid a shutout. They've not been blanked in 9 years. Abdul-Jabbar dropped for a 3-yard loss. Greg Biekert led the charge.
Well, this play just says it all about the whole day. The Miami Dolphins just getting overpowered by the Oakland Raiders. Watch Greg Biekert, number 54, times it perfectly. He just goes in. He blows the whole play up.
Well, he runs over 2 players. He runs over McIver, and he also runs over Stanley Pritchett, a guard and a fullback, and makes the play.
So the Raiders use another timeout. The 2nd and goal from the 4, and Marino goes to the sidelines to seek some help. Mike White's team led 14-0 at the halftime, and then a field goal here in the second half, accounting for the scoring. And we welcome those of you who have seen the Houston Oilers continue in a very fine year, defeating the Jets, who have had a very unhappy year. 35-10 the final, the Oilers.
The Jets out of the playoffs yet?
Jets go 1-12, while the Houston Oilers move within 2 of Central Division leader Pittsburgh. The Steelers defeated earlier today.
Yes, they were officially eliminated today, Paul. So you can figure that out.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
2 minutes and 39 seconds left here in Oakland, where it's been all Raiders. Miami trying to get on the board. 2nd and goal. Marino. Touchdown as he drills it to Randall Hill. Hill's 3rd touchdown reception of the year. So at least for Marino, some salve on the wounds. He avoids the shutout.
Well, it was a good throw by Dan Marino. He's going to be looking left all the way, and then finally in the back of the end zone, he sees the open receiver, Randall Hill, and
was that Carl Kidd again?
Carl Kidd.
Nedney. And now you think back to the end of the first half when Nedney made a 37-yard field goal, and there was a 5-yard Miami penalty, and then he missed from 42, or it would be a touchdown game. And we welcome those of you who have seen the Denver Broncos continue their brilliance of this football season. 34-7 over Seattle, and the Broncos thereby, according to all the reports we've received, have home field advantage all the way through the playoffs on the first day of December.
I love when I go around the country. Everybody says the same thing to me. They ask me questions. You think the Broncos are any good? Nobody wants to believe that this is a good football team. They deserve to be 12-1 because they do everything well.
You know, and people still don't believe it. But you know, there's some other things that are involved in here. The Denver Broncos are a team really without injury, and the ones that they do have injured, they've got the backup people who are there.
I will look for the onside kick here from Miami. 17-7 the score. Here's the last touchdown. Marino's 4-yard strike to Randall Hill that avoids the shutout. Marino, 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, but it was his fumble from snap that led to a field goal here in the second half that gives the Raiders a 10-point lead now, not just 7.
They were driving to score on that fumble.
Nedney, boy, that ball's up for grabs. Bounces around and finally knocked out of bounds. Looked like a Raider hand that kept it away from Miami. They're congratulating Tim Brown because that was a jump ball. Anybody could have had that one, and it looked like Brown jumped up and knocked it away.
This was a great kick by Nedney. Look at that ball. It hits the first hop, and then the Raiders let it hit the ground, which you should never do. Now here's the ball in the air, and watch this. Tim Brown knocks it out of bounds. What a heads-up play.
Touch the ball prior to going out of bounds. First down.
And so it's a Raiders ball at that spot. So Tim Brown, who has the new record, NFL record for punt returns in a career, more than anyone has ever returned kicks, makes another one of those little things you don't see in the box score plays that are so important.
You know what's amazing about this? Now, the onside kick, Dick, if the Miami Dolphins would have knocked the ball out of bounds, it would have been a 5-yard penalty, and they'd have to kick over again. But if you kick the ball off and it goes out of bounds in a normal kickoff, like down the field, then it's put on the 40-yard line. You figure that baby out.
Or if it's less than that, it goes out of bounds at that spot.
Oh, that's to confuse everybody. I'm confused.
It's just one of those rules that don't make any sense.
Harvey Williams will try to tackle the ball, and Williams to the 42-yard line.
More excitement. That's why the rule is there. Give the team that's behind every chance you can to let them catch up.
Miami has 2 timeouts, and at 2:20 they don't use one of them, so that means the Raiders can let it run to the 2-minute warning. Derek Fenner started the scoring in the second quarter, a 6-yard run after Terry McDaniel's interception. Then Hostetler to Tim Brown made it 14-0, a 6-yard pass play at the half. And then the fumble recovery and the field goal by Ford made it 17-0 before Miami's score. 2 minutes left in Oakland. The Oakland Raiders trying to go 6-7. They first scored on this Fenner 6-yard effort. That was after a Marino interception. And then Tim Brown spinning away for his 8th touchdown catch of the year to make it 14-0 at the half. And now back to live action. Harvey Williams protecting the ball at the 41-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and about 5. And
Anthony Harris on the
no timeout used by Miami here.
I don't understand this now. You take the timeouts now. You know that all the Raiders are going to do is run the football.
So that's like giving them 40 seconds. Maybe Jimmy figures that not going to be able to overcome the 17-7. That casts a
Yeah,
ball.
I'm surprised. Yes, I'm trying to think of a lot of reasons why you don't call the timeout, but I can't come up with any.
Brown in motion on 3rd down. And Williams fights close to the 1st down. He's a yard shy. Shane Burton makes the tackle.
You're still not taking it.
Now they take it 1:08 left.
Shane Burton on the tackle.
And Miami has 1 timeout left.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Now, Paul told me no matter how cold it is in Green Bay, he was going to go in short sleeves and do the game.
No, see, I didn't throw an interception and have somebody slap me in the head. Believe me, I'm not going in short sleeve.
Emergency kicker Billy Joe Hobart has done a terrific job, as you saw, over 41-yard average today. And false start as the flags fly with 1:08 left.
I don't understand why Dan Turk didn't get a call on before. He gets over the ball and he pumps up and down on the ball. I mean, that would draw the defense offside anyway.
False start. Offense. Number 96 prior to the snap.
So that's 96.
5-yard penalty. Still
Butcher.
4th down.
But you can see Turk. I mean, he lifts himself, and that could draw the guys offside.
Well, Billy Joe's happy now. They move it back 5, and he can crank another one out there.
Yeah, so it won't mess up his yardage.
That's right.
His average.
Now, he'll go home tonight, and he'll be mad about that one bad punt. He's had 4 really good ones. That one bad one, though,
What they say about him, he's so intense and competitive. He sweats when you're dealing the first round of cards.
I'll tell you, he is a joy to talk to. Oh, man.
Gets it away. Good looking kick. But it bounces into the end zone. Didn't take that. Hadn't had enough practice on that coffin corner effort. Marino starts at the 20 with 1 minute and a second remaining, trailing by 10.
Oh, I'll tell you, that promo we had for Jurassic Park, I love those huge chickens. What were those?
I don't know.
Well, in a way, a prehistoric chicken.
It looked like a chicken, didn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What do you think you were in your first life?
I was one of those chickens.
You were a rock.
Marino underneath. Parmalee protects the ball out to the 35. And Marino will not use his last time out here.
Mike Morton on the tackle.
Well, for those of you who weren't with us for the entire game here in Oakland, it's been an outstanding effort by the Raider defense. They just harassed Marino from the opening bell down to the 50, 31, 30 seconds. He threw 3 interceptions, fumble as well.
This is a stats builder now, isn't it?
First and 10 at the 49.
That's exactly what it is, and the Raiders just give them a chance for 1 or 2 more plays, and then they'll...
McDuffie to the 40. And Marino uses his last time out with 9 seconds. Well, so the Raiders, and going back to the start of the game, folks, if you haven't been following this Oakland team carefully, they did start out 1-4, but since then they've lost only 3 games. One 22-21 to Denver, and the other 2 were in overtime. So they lost by 1, and they were tied at the other end of the other 2 games, losing in overtime. Now, they well could be a team rolling toward the playoffs, playing very solid defensively, but unable to win the close games. Well, they won one, not necessarily that close, but a tough game today.
But I'll tell you, for over 3 hours, this defense of the Raiders has just been spectacular. I mean, Marino, they just tied his hands all day long.
Well, today they didn't have that moment where they give up the big plays, and Mike White said that they've done that. They've gone out and they'll shut teams out, and all of a sudden they give up 2 quick scores, and it makes them look bad. But today, consistency from start to finish.
9 seconds, and they line up with that flood formation to the right. To the goal line. And it falls incomplete with 1 second left. It gives you a chance to practice that Hail Mary pass once more. Jimmy Johnson, the master motivator. Tough week, losing on Monday night, a game that he thought they should have won against the Steelers.
Had many opportunities in that game to win it, and actually I thought they played well. Today they just weren't up. They weren't up physically, just not a match for the Oakland Raiders.
The 9-7 teams, some will get in, or one will get in. 9-7. These guys could go to 9-7. Both of these teams.
Right. There might be one 9-7 team get in.
Well, this is it, and it ends with a Raiders sack. Nolan Harrison, the punctuation mark on a 17-7 Oakland Raider win.
Final score, Oakland Raiders 17, Miami Dolphins 7.
Both the Dolphins and the Raiders now 6-7, both needing 3 in a row to make the playoffs. We'll return to Oakland in a moment.